Oh, hey! Didn't see you there. These bongos are Josh's.
Yes, they are.
Not mine. But they've been sitting in my room for like 6 months, I think. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another, part 4 of my room. This one might be really long because we're going to get into my DVD collections. But we're going to start with this rock.
Dude, that's a cool rock. It's so silky smooth.
It's really smooth, yeah. That rock comes from your homeland.
Done wearing that.
Probably never been. The Philippines. Have you been to the Philippines?
Yeah, like once, but it was a long time ago and I don't remember it.
This rock, actually, my friend Ghost Lightning, his daughter, who was like 1.5 at the time, we were like hanging out at this place, and I was like walking her around and stuff, and she just like picked up this rock and gave it to me. She was like, "Here, take this," and I was like, "Okay," and I put it in my pocket and I kept it because it's a rock.
It's a rock.
I was like, "I got a present."
Let me see it. It's a rock.
Here's another Black Rock Shooter DVD.
Oh,
why I have
snap.
2. We might as well talk about this too before we even get into the DVDs. So this is like a photo reel thing of me as a baby.
You were a baby?
I know, right?
It's me and Victor. Like, there's me dressed up as the little devil from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Lock, shock, and barrel.
Really?
Yeah, that's us as Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Me, Victor, and one of our cousins. I don't remember who.
Good memory.
It's like all these baby pictures of me. It's mostly Lock, Shock, and... Oh, see, that was the mask.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's like I'm in a fire truck or something. Can you see these at all?
Yeah,
Right.
perfectly.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Yeah. Oh, I remember this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is like my 3rd birthday. My parents got me this car mat. It's like a whole city like layout on a mat.
I had one of those too.
You see that I'm in like this green open field. This was like Boyd's house in 1993. It was just like, it was literally in the middle of nowhere.
So you lived in a field?
Yeah, we lived with them for a short time, and it was when his parents were fighting before they eventually divorced, and they'd be like cutting each other with knives and shit. Like, while we were there, we're all just sitting there like, okay, whatever, man.
What is life out there? Jeez, man, that's where he lived. We lived on that car mat.
No, we didn't.
That was his house.
Alright, so anyway, getting started with the DVD boxes. So, I used to be a hardcore collector where me and Victor we always would say, if you're gonna buy it, buy the special edition. That was like our motto.
Yeah, you followed through on that with this.
This one especially, this is the most, this was like the prize of my collection for a while, because this is the Haruhi DVD box. Now when I bought it, it was volume 1 with this box.
Yeah.
And it has a spot for the 4 DVDs to go, but it was just volume 1 at the time. And then it had like this pull-out thing. These are all like really difficult.
It's like super
This
secretive.
is a slot for CDs, right? So it came with a CD, and then each of the subsequent volumes came with a CD, so you could put them all in there. And then this is just like for show. It's just artwork everywhere on this box.
It's like a clusterfuck.
It's got like this pull thing, so you can pull out the DVDs if they slide too far back.
Man, that's...
Because originally this was like really tight. It was really hard to get them in, but it's loosened up over the years.
I see.
You know, like an anus. Oh, also, what was in this when I first bought it?
Wizard sleeve.
This also might still have. It doesn't have. It originally had this as a. Can you? You're not even looking at the thing anymore.
I was filming him losing his shit.
Can you look at what I'm talking about?
Yes.
This symbol. There was an iron-on for this. There's also an iron-on of like Haruhi. Like T-shirt iron-ons, and I never ironed them onto anything. They're sitting around somewhere. We'll probably get to them in a later video.
Yeah, probably.
Here's the CDs that came with each volume.
And
of
these
the
are
DVDs.
music CDs.
This one's they had like the singles.
And soundtracks.
No soundtracks, just singles.
The singles.
But this one, the cover's not there because it had a poster, like it was a fold-out, and that was on my wall. It's not anymore, which means we'll probably find it when we get to the former posters section. So,
posters.
Yeah, it came with that. It came with that SOS Don thing that he had on in the last video.
SOS Don thing.
SOS Don. That's Don means brigade, so it's the SOS brigade.
I see.
I don't remember what that stands for because it's been way too long. So yeah, what's interesting about this, the reason I bought the special editions, like other than that I wanted to have them because they were cool, is that these DVDs, in fact, this might be where the iron-ons are, is in the DVDs.
They're in the DVDs?
Use that tool tab.
We'll hold this.
Okay, so these have 2 discs apiece, right?
Dose.
Or this one doesn't.
No, that
the other ones do, though.
completely didn't follow through on the expectation.
I should I'm not even gonna bother trying to find the ones that have the 2 discs. All I remember is that, or maybe it wasn't 2 discs. It was just like 2 different versions of the show.
Your memory's
But basically,
dying.
the show, when they brought it to the show in Japan was aired in anachronic order, which means that the episodes were not in the chronological order that they occur. And there was a good reason for that, because only the first half of the story was like dramatic and interesting, and the other half was just all filler.
That's weird.
So they scattered the filler throughout the show and put it in a non-linear fashion. But when they released the show in America, for some reason, the people who owned it in Japan said, "Oh, you have to release it linearly." Don't know why. But when they released the special editions, they came with a bonus disc that would let you watch the show in the original order with Japanese subtitles, and Japanese with English subtitles, and that's how I wanted the show. So I bought it for that reason, and because there's this nice collector's box with so much art
Don't
on
drop
it.
it off the shelf.
Buy collector's box.
And then each subsequent volume I bought, because each one had a limited edition, which came with the CD and all this other shit. We'll get to more, like, all of the additional stuff is around the room, so we'll get to it eventually. But, yeah, so I bought all 4 DVDs with the special edition, so it's like $200 total spent on Haruhi.
Man, that's a lot
I don't
of
even
money.
care about this show anymore.
How long has it been since you watched it?
Like 2009.
I mean, you might care about it if you watch it
Later
again.
on, man.
Doubt it. Doubt it. Where'd my beer go?
Yeah, that's the disappearing
Oh,
act.
here we go.
It really does. We've seen so much more stuff that's like that since then. We're in before
They
it was
made
like,
so much stuff that was like
Yeah.
that since then. But when I watched that, that was how I got back into anime in 2006/2007. Like, you know, so...
Yeah.
So we have Kino's Journey. This is a cool show. Brandon, you would like this show. Unfortunately, my DVDs don't work. Like, Volume 1 fucks up when you try to play it. I don't know why. Something happened to it and it just fucks up. The box art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's funny because it emphasizes sort of her femaleness, and she's supposed to be like totally androgynous. If you watch this show and you had no idea she was a girl, you probably
you
would have
think
some,
that-
like, you would only figure it out when they specify.
I see.
Like, if you used to look at the cover art, it used to be like really difficult
The
to
other
tell,
side,
but
like,
this one
her
really
ass.
emphasizes her ass a lot, where it's the only picture of her like that.
It's just centered on the ass.
Yeah, a lot of ass. His and Her Circumstances. This is a fantastic
Man.
show.
It is fantastic.
You'd probably like this because it's a rom-com, and
Dude, that like
snap.
that was like my life when I was 14. That show. I didn't even see the whole thing. I just saw a few episodes, but it like so I identified with it so well. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, these DVDs were released by Right Stuff, and they're pretty cool DVDs. They have a lot of bonus content on them, and, like commentaries and stuff. It was like the company that released this. If you've ever been to rightstuff.com, that's like where you buy. It's like the biggest anime
Right.
store, like
I
online store specifically for anime. This was their first DVD release, and they like really wanted to do it well. So they like included as much stuff on it as they could because they were like really excited about actually having a show. That
I like
released.
rom-coms.
This is the first episode of Noir, which is horrible because it's a B-Train show, and I hate B-Train.
It's on a
To a-
GameCube disc.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
is it on
on a tiny disc. For those who don't know, I kind of still run a site that's called I Hate B-Train that is just about me hating B-Train
They're
shows.
so good.
But this one, it's interesting because this was released, ADV in 2005 or so, released a bunch of just one episode DVDs that you could buy for like $1 or $2 at like Suncoast. They just have like a bin of them. And
Suncoast. That's the name of that store that was in the mall, and I love
yeah,
that place.
and they're gone. Suncoast was the place to buy anime back in the day because like it was basically Suncoast and Best Buy was cheaper, but they didn't have the selection.
Yeah.
Suncoast had every
Everything.
fucking show.
Now it's gone. So
They
I'm
had
gonna
all the
kill
toys,
myself.
everything anime that was available in the U.S. was at
Shit.
Suncoast. I think FYE ran them out of business.
Goddamn FYE, you know FYE's got shit.
Yeah, so so I got Noir from back then, so it was like $1. And these were supposed to be, by the way, I love reading this. It says, collect them, or any mini DVDs are fun. Collect them, watch them, trade them with friends. So the way these were intended was to be like trading cards, where you would all like, you'd go out, you'd buy a first episode, and you'd go, oh, you haven't seen Noir? Here. Like, you know,
You throw them at
obviously
your friend.
the internet age made these completely pointless.
Throw it at your friend and hit him in the face, and he goes, "Oh snap! I never." had
Here's
this
the
one."
first season of Genshiken. So this is a great show this is a show about otaku, and we watched this in
I
2007.
feel like it's a great show for anime beginners.
It's a great show for anyone because it's a fucking phenomenal show. But especially the manga is much better than the actual
Show
series.
the cover.
But
Cover the cover.
But the manga's a lot better than the actual show, but it's still good. And we watched this in 2007. Like, I had just gotten back into anime through Haruhi, And like for about 6 months, I was watching a lot of anime, getting more and more into it. And then, like when I was at the height, like I was just starting to really understand anime culture, and then I watched this, and this educated me about everything else and made me want to be an otaku. Like this was when I decided this is what I'm doing with my life.
This is my life.
This is the kind of
now.
lifestyle I have, you know.
It's
And so
life-changing.
we put all of our collections, me, Victor, and Shade, we put them all into my room and called it the Genshiken, and we moved like 3 TVs up here. We've done that a few times since then, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Because what it is in the show, it's like an anime club, like a manga club, and so they go to the club room and it's like full of anime and manga and shit.
Because it's at a college, and the college already had an anime club and a manga club, but theirs is the visual.
That's what I've always wanted to
club,
make, is a visual
and
arts
they
club.
just dick around. Like, it's just a club for them to dick around, basically.
Because it's the same thing at ODU, the anime club fucking sucks, so it's like...
You went there? Oh.
No, I never went there, I just heard it sucks, and I see the people around, I'm like, these are shitty people.
By the way, you may have noticed that there's a lot of blank space here. I actually have enough DVD boxes to completely deck this shelf, but Derek has a bunch of them.
Who's Derek?
Derek, who is currently in the Marines, has a bunch of them. He came back for a little while and then was like, I want to borrow a bunch of DVDs. I'm like, you're taking my DVDs to, where is he? Some fucking state.
I think he's in Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, so my
Georgia.
DVDs are in Georgia. So here's Black Lagoon, the complete box. Is this both series? Yeah, this is both series. 24 episodes of Black Lagoon. This is a great show. Very violent. This show, like I had heard that it was great, and I was holding off on watching it because it was so violent, and I knew that. And this was like before I got into violent stuff. And I literally watched Black Lagoon and Technolize, and both of those fucked me up so hard.
Jesus
because
Christ.
like Black Lagoon, there's this one arc that's about these two like kids. And they were basically used in snuff films, and they became like psycho murderers, and just the way it plays out was so fucked up, and I'd never seen anything like it before, that it just like wrecked me all day. Like I just couldn't handle that shit. But after that, I got really into dark stuff. So like this was basically like stole my innocence and got me into like really dark, violent shows. So yeah, and it's great. It's a great series. Pretty much all of these are stuff you would like, Brandon. I'm trying to get him into anime, but like it's going slow.
It's very slow.
He's not watching the stuff I give him.
I still have
in
it.
a timely
It's just
fashion.
like,
all right, let's kneel down a bit.
We're kneeling down. I'm on my knees.
So now we have
on to
Alien 9. This is where's the DVD?
Oh.
This box has all 3 volumes of the manga, and it has the DVD, but I don't know where the DVD is. I gave it to you. You're supposed to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Alien 9 is pretty... This is like a body horror. The guy who writes this, everything he does is like biopunk body horror weirdness. And it's always about kids, and they're always in some kind of unbelievably fucked up situation, and usually all get killed. And it's just like... The way he does stuff is that there's very little dialogue in his manga. It's just like constantly crazy shit happening and like all these weird aliens and crazy biopunk situations.
That's always fun.
So Alien 9, this one is about these 3 girls who are like in elementary school, and they're on the like alien defense team, and they basically have these things that stick to their head. It's like this little alien parasite. I wonder if the manga has a better picture I could show. This, how can I explain this? They have these alien parasites that go to their heads that have wings, and they wear rollerblades, and like aliens will attack their school, and they'll just like skate around school and fight the aliens, and they shoot out these like these things. They like shoot out these tendrils that go out and kill aliens and shit for them. It's fucking weird and trippy, and very dark. Yeah. And all of it's like breakneck pacing, so it'll be like just. They'll just like be having an average day at school, and then all of a sudden, like someone gets murdered horribly. You're just like, well, that shit got dark, you know.
That occurred.
So then we have volume. Oh, I actually have all of Air. I thought I only. Oh, this because Don-san had this. He gave it to me. Don-san gave me all of his DVDs at one point. He used to have like a bunch, and he's just like, I don't watch these, and they're taking up space, so I'll.
So
give them
you get them.
So I believe I had volume 1 and the box of Air. And he got the other 3. It looks like it's written differently.
It looks so
like you see that
majestic.
it's different writing style, like slightly.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because I got mine first. Like, are these some kind of later version? I don't know. Anyway, Air is a show. If you've ever seen Clannad or Canon, Air was the one that came before those. And I'm holding it upside down. Victor said nothing. Anyway, Air, It's really gorgeous show,
It
super
looks
high
gorgeous.
budget, and it's really sad. This is the first of the sad sad anime girls shows that was done by Ki and Kyoto. Stop it! Just stop it! You never stop. You're like a freight train of bullshit. God damn. Alright, so here's the super special awesome Boogiepop Phantom box.
Yay!
I also have a thin pack of, because this actually does not have the DVDs in it. And I have a thin pack of Boogiepop Phantom, which I believe Derek borrowed again. He wanted to rewatch it or something. This one was bought by Boyd. He bought the box, and he said I could have the box and everything that it came with, but not the DVDs. So he gave me these weird, like, cards that are, like, I guess, individual images from the show or something.
Maybe.
Fucking strange. There's like a shitload of these. Holy crap. And then, these pencil boards, which, you know, pencil boards, whatever. So it came with that shit, and he gave that to me. But, Boogiepop Phantom's pretty cool.
Probably couldn't have the DVDs because he probably sold them.
I mean, I'm sure he did later, but this was like before he was selling his DVDs all the time. Exile Saga, which I still haven't watched all of. My aunt gave me this as part of, like I told you in the last video, she sent me like a bunch of random stuff that she had, and one of them was the entire Exile Saga box set. I just can't get into this show. It's like, I don't know.
It looks trippy.
Some this show is just random, crazy, bizarre bullshit. Like that's the whole thing. It's
got a warning on the side.
It's up there with like Bobo in terms of sheer just berserk randomness, but it's mostly meant to be a parody. Like each episode is like a parody of a different kind of anime, you know, or movie. Like there will be the military movie parody, and then this kind of parody. It's just a long chain of parodies, some of which are okay, some of which are totally boring. There's some situations that are fucking hilarious, and some stuff that you're just like, eh.
So the box says danger on it, and so inside the box, would you call the area inside of the box a danger zone?
Danger zone! You could have done that better right there. Here's Gunslinger Girl, the first series. By the way, you'll see this a lot where I've taken out. Anytime I had stuff that had like a flip cover where the inside of the cover was a poster, then I would put those on my wall, and I'd never put them back in the DVDs after taking them off my wall. They're just in this pile that we'll get to in a future video.
Oh, I can't wait to see that video.
You're such a liar. You won't watch that video. You don't watch my videos.
Maybe I can...
So this is Gunslinger Girl. The second series of this sucks, but so I never bought it. But I do want to watch it eventually. I love Gunslinger Girl. I was a huge fan of it back in like 2008. It was my favorite franchise, which is why I have all these posters and DVDs and shit of it. So, yeah. Then we've got Haibane Renmei. You actually watched this.
I did. I actually like that.
This was by the same guy who did Serial Experiments Lane, which is Yoshitoshi Abe. Basically, the only shows I've managed to get Brandon to watch are all the Yoshitoshi Abe shows. Because I first gave, like before we started our cultural exchange, I gave him Technolize, which he loved. So I just gave him all the other stuff by that guy, along with other shows.
And I've been digging it.
So now we have Infinite Ryvius, which sadly I only have the first DVD of, because it was cheap. And this show is fantastic. Everyone needs to watch this. This is one of those shows that no one really saw this, and it's like mind-blowingly good. And the funny thing about it is that because I had read reviews of it back like in the day in 2003 or so when it came out in America, and it was all like really mixed reviews. There's people who was like, oh, there's parts of it I like, parts of it I don't like, and stuff like that. So I just expected it to be kind of like a wishy-washy show, like maybe it's some good. No, it's fucking fantastic. It's like top tier, one of the best written shows I've ever seen in any medium. It's fucking great. Anyone would like this. So I have no idea what those people were thinking who gave it mixed reviews. I'm like, I don't get it because it's so fucking good. So yeah, I do think that show is way under-recognized for being as good as it is. Kamichu. This was actually in my released and relinquished thing from NecoCon, where it's another show that came out and it's really good and no one really saw it. But Kamichu is about this middle school girl who finds out one day that she is a god, where she just like becomes a god.
That happens all the time.
And she's just like living life as a god now. It's really like down key, like down tempo kind of
It's
show.
like, oh, okay.
It's just like her life after becoming a god.
We're talking Japanese gods, so there's like 50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a
80 million of them.
80
I
million.
believe.
Yeah.
Or is it just 8 million? It's
Millions.
There's like a specific, because the word that they use, it literally is a word that means either exactly 8 million, but it also means just like a plethora. But most translators translate it as 8 million, so it sounds like there's this extremely specific, massive number of gods.
Can't have any more.
Last Exile, I have all but this is one of these box sets that's like a total dick move, because it gives you all but the last volume.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Fucking cunts.
So I have most of Last Exile, which this is another show you might find interesting, because it's really artistic and shit, like it's all pretty and prettified, and it's got an awesome opening song. It's all like it's like club music of the highest caliber. So yeah, Last Exile is pretty cool.
And then Mushishi.
This is just a husk. There's nothing in this.
What the hell?
Oh, I must have loaned you the first two? No?
Maybe.
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think you gave that.
Why would I loan you just 2 volumes?
Yeah,
Anyway, I only have the first 2 volumes of Mushishi. I was trying to buy them all in the super special editions, and then I just didn't have any money, and they were getting harder to find. So I gave up on that. But Mushishi is a great show, and I've never finished this. I started watching this in 2007, watched 13 episodes with Victor, and I've never finished it.
You've been watched a few episodes with me online.
By the way, I'm amazed that so far, up until this, and Exile Saga, which I clarified that I just don't like it,
Yeah.
I've seen all those shows I mentioned. This is not true of all my DVDs. Like, I'm impressed it took this long to get to a show that I have not finished, because like people are gonna be like, oh wow, I guess even though he doesn't finish any of his video games, maybe he finishes his anime. No, not true. I don't finish anything.
Oh, that's depressing.
But I guess most of these, because I have the box sets, I've finished them.
You should finish it.
So moving on, Neo Ranga. This is one of the weirdest fucking shows out there. This show is about these 3 girls, and one day they just get a kaiju. Like, this kaiju attacks Japan, and it turns out that it was going to their house because they now own it. Because their brother was on some kind of, like, southern island, and he, like, met with these tribes people and, like, became their leader or something, and he just, like, inherited a kaiju. So it comes to live with them and, like, just help them deal with, like... So, some episodes are, like, everyday life stories, right? That are, like, super lighthearted comedy. Then there'll be, like, heavy drama. And then there'll be episodes that are about politics, and episodes that are about, like, current events in Japan. There's, like, episodes about gangsters and shit that are, like, real serious. And then there'll be, like, this random comedy episode. This show is weird. It was so, like, mind-blowing when I watched it. I didn't know what to make of it. I just got real confused. I was like, how can it go from that to that? And it's like, without blinking, it was confusing.
Yeah, just put that in.
This is Metal Fighter Miku, which I have not watched yet. I bought it at NekoCon, and the reason I bought it is because it's directed by Akiyuki Shinbo, who is my favorite director, and I just want to watch everything by him, but yeah, I haven't yet.
Yeah, we got around to
this
that.
is like one of his, because this is like pre him making a name for himself. This is like one of his first shows from the 90s, so I'm definitely curious about what it might be like.
Maybe it's like Heavy Metal 2000.
Then we have My Hime. This is a fun show. Everyone hates the ending of this show. I don't really think you'd be into this, like, at all, but I'm curious to, like, make you watch it just to see what you think of the ending, because everyone hates it. I thought it was fine, but it's kind of a bullshit ending. It's a fun show.
Maybe.
Maria Watches Over Us. This is the one I was talking about where it's, like, everyone's super classy, and it's, like, it's just, yeah, because it takes place in a Catholic girls' school, and it's basically a lesbian drama, but everyone is super classy and, like, wispy, and it's all, like, everyone says, have a nice day, which is goki genyo in Japanese, like the super fancy way of saying have a nice day, and, yeah, that's basically how it is. It's very low-key. This is, like, uber low-key show, like, very slow, very sort of drawn out. The drama is all, like, it's melodrama, like, utter melodrama, but yeah, that's
piques my interest.
That's a great show. Nanoha A's. Fun story. The first Nanoha's pretty big franchise in Japan. It is a magical girl show that was made with adults in mind, without really compromising what it means to be a magical girl show, except that it's got darker themes in it. But the original Nanoha was directed by Akiyuki Shinbo, my favorite director. Sounded like it would totally be my thing. I watched it. I thought it was the worst show I've ever seen, right?
Aww.
I fucking hated Nanoha 1.
But why?
Because it's just awful.
Oh.
It's really bad.
I see.
And a lot of people liked it, and I didn't understand why. Like, they got really emotionally involved in the plot, because it's a really emotional, like, dark storyline, but it's awful. The way the show is made is just horrible. So, I hated Nanoha 1. They later remade it into a movie, and that movie is way better. It's like all the shitty parts of the show gone. It's still got pacing issues and stuff, but whatever, it's a fun movie. The second show, Nanoha Ace, is fantastic. This is like the complete opposite, like flipped on its head. This one is great all the way through. I loved it. The characters became interesting. These two are like totally gay for each other, and I love that. The third show, because
that sounds like it's right up my alley.
Well, this is them as kids, right? And then the third show, it's them as adults, and they like. Because the funny thing is, they never explicitly call them a couple, but they sleep together and they have a kid in the third show.
Yeah.
Like, they adopt a child together, even though they're never officially a couple. It's like, come on.
We know
come
where
on,
this
exactly.
is.
And I've never finished the third show, but I watched like the first 3 episodes, and I loved it just because of them, like them as adults, because they're like total badasses, because they've been basically in the magical girl business since they were 8. So like at 18, they're like just these fucking super utter badass people, and they're like they're literally like training other magical girls.
That sounds dope.
So then we have Red Garden. This is the #1 show you need to watch out of all of these. I didn't loan this to you. What was I thinking? So this is the artsiest fucking thing I have. This show is by a guy called Matsuo Ko, and he's really influenced by American movies and like musicals and shit. So this show has like a bunch of parts, like episodes where the characters will just start singing, and it's a horror show. So it's horror and musical,
and it's really artsy,
and it takes place in New York, and it's just like, yeah, it's really all over the place, but it's a ton of fun to watch. It's basically about these 4 girls who like die, and then they get like brought back, and they have to like fight, you know, like dead people or whatever. But there's of course some kind of great conspiracy plot and all this other shit. But it's mostly you watch it because it's exciting, and the dialogue is fan-fucking-tastic. No one, because basically Ko Matsuo is really influenced, I'm guessing, by, he's like the anime version of who's the guy who wrote Firefly?
Joss Whedon.
He's the anime Joss Whedon. Like, his shows feel like Joss Whedon shows. So, yeah. That's why you should watch this. I can't believe I never thought of that before, to call him the Joss Whedon of anime, but it totally adds up. So now we have Panty Pony Dash. This is a fucking awesome
Giant
comedy
box.
show from Akiyuki Shinbo, my favorite director. This is like just a spastic, fun high school comedy where, if you've ever seen Azumanga Daioh, this is basically Azumanga Daioh turned up to 11. So it's like, it's the same kind of story, the same kind of characters, but everything is way more like acid trip and whacked out. So yeah, it's like, it's basically Azumanga Daioh on crack, I guess.
Cocaine!
And there's Noir, which I've not watched. I've seen the first 2 episodes of this like 3 times, and I've never gotten past that. You watched this, and you hated it, the first 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus.
I remember that. Yeah, me and Marcus were watching it, and we were like, what is happening?
I don't know if you
Why?
hated it because it was bad, or if you hated it because you watched it with Marcus.
I don't know. I don't know, like, the difference between watching with you, because I've never watched anime with you, but I've watched anime with Marcus, and that's just...
Is it bad? Is it atrocious?
It's just kind of a lull, and you guys,
Right.
it's like me and him are just sitting there, where like, and then we wind up making fun of it more, and then it's just, we lose all appreciation for everything.
I remember when I was watching this, I just kept talking about how cute the main girl was, because she's adorable. She's just like this pink shirt wearing little girl, and she's freaking adorable. Anyway.
Moving on.
It's funny too, because like so many of these are like dark, heady, like meaningful shows. It's like when we were on my figure shelves, it's like all these light animated characters, like, oh, it's all this adorable shit, and then you get into this, so it's like dark, macabre.
Like, what have I got myself into?
I mean, you'll notice that a bunch of stuff is missing because it's either at your house or with Derek. It's like, I don't know who has Higurashi though, because I didn't give you that. Maybe Derek took Higurashi, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I have the box set of Higurashi. I have Genkutsuo, which is over there, so I guess we'll get to that when we go over there.
Yeah.
Evangelion.
Yeah, Evangelion. Does Derek still have that?
Probably.
Did I give that to you?
No, give me Evangelion.
I have Ava the box set and the movie box set. I don't know. I'm missing a lot of shit. Moving on to the next shelf. One of my favorite shows ever. Bakano. This, out of all these that are in these boxes, this is my favorite. So, Bakano is a 1920s gangster movie told in anachronistic. It's basically if Snatch was set in the 20s and was an anime about immortals. That's Bakano. That's like that's perfect.
That's a great description.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Snatch, set it in the 20s, give it like some of the coolest. This has the best characters ever and the best voice acting ever. I know you wouldn't know about that, but the Japanese vocal cast of this show is like all of my favorite voice actors are in this.
I
like
see.
All of them. It's like everyone who kicks ass is in that show. So yeah. So the funny thing about Bakano is a lot of people like the dub more because they use New York accents and it takes place in New York.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just don't get it. The Japanese version is phenomenally acted, so I can't possibly watch it dubbed. I mean, I hate dubs anyway, but, you know. Welcome to the NHK. This is the first 2 volumes, which I bought, but I have 2 box sets of this, and the other one is Dansan's, and it has the whole show in it. But okay, what he did was, he had bought the box with volume 1, and then they released the show in thinpacks in 2 different parts, and he bought those 2 and put them inside the box. But that one is with Derek right now. So Welcome to the NHK is about this hikikomori basically flipping shit and having delusions and losing his mind. And yeah, if you have ever been a shut-in, if you have ever felt like you were doing nothing with your life and been desperate, which, let's be honest, you're watching my videos, there's a lot of likelihood you're going to relate to this show. I did a lot when I watched it the first time, which is why I was a huge fan of it. Dansan did as well, because he was literally a hikikomori when he watched this show. So that resonated with him very strongly. And then we'll go down to the bottom here. There's this kind of case.
What's in that case?
What's in that case?
You got
Dot Hack Sign DVDs. Wait, where's the... Where was
it's in
that?
my room. You gave
That's
it to
in
me.
your room? I gave you the box, but it has none of the DVDs in it. Hilarious. Yeah. So it's Gaigar's in here.
Wow.
Penny Pony Dash is in here. Boogiepop Phantom.
Just whatever was sitting around your room.
I think Derek said something to the effect of Boogiepop was missing one of the discs, and I don't know why.
It's in there.
He should have checked before he borrowed that shit. Oh, here is Princess Mononoke in Japanese. I bought because it was like $2 at like some place, and Dansan told me that because the thing is it has English subtitles on it. All the Japanese releases of Ghibli movies have English subtitles, but it's region locked, so I can't actually watch it on my PC. But Dansan said he could override that, but I don't remember if he ever succeeded. And I have Simone is in here, the individual discs. So yeah,
that's your case.
I don't know what the fuck this is. It's a dog.
I like
this. Is a magnet. It's supposed to be on my fridge. I missed.
Fail!
And here's 3 volumes of Hyper Police, which belongs to Marcus. It's pretty bad.
You like it.
I want to. That was a perfect, appropriate... But yeah, this is Marcus's and he's never come back for it.
What's that metal tin back there?
Yeah.
Oh! Magical Shopping Arcade Abenobashi. This is,
what?
The team that did FLCL, this is what they did afterwards. So, it's like this raunchy, bizarre parody show, where basically these characters, like, they're in this shopping center in a town called Abenobashi, and it just gets, this crazy alien girl shows up, and she just warps the town into, like, another dimension in each episode, and it's some kind of anime parody. So, like, the first episode is this really slow, just, like, talking about their lives in Abenobashi, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the first episode, everything goes fucking berserk, and they get teleported to, this fantasy world.
I see.
And so they have to, beat the boss of each... I guess it's more video game parody than anime, but they have to beat the boss of each world to move on. It's like, episode 4 is they're in Street Fighter, and it's, all attacks from Street Fighter and shit that people are using, so, yeah. I have never finished that. Dansan gave it to me.
That sounds interesting.
Alright, moving on to the other DVD shelf.
Here we go.
Now we're on the individuals. This is where shit's gonna get intense.
Dun 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 dun. Boom, intense.
Oh, and I have this rarity necklace that I bought for Brony Curious. Look at that. I actually thought about, I was gonna buy this for myself, But then I thought Brony Curious will be super jealous of me if I like post pictures of this. After
Give it to
buying
him when you propose.
Yeah. Why be selfish? You can
So
be
I
selfless.
thought, because he had said he wanted it, and that's how I found out about it. And when I was at Hot Topic, I saw it, and I was like, I'll buy this. But they didn't have an Applejack one. They only had like Rarity and Derpy, and someone else. And I was like, I'll just give this to Brony Curious. So I bought it for him. I'm gonna give it to him at BronyCon and propose live.
And propose live.